Nobuhiko Obayashi is a director that it took me a long time to kind of get a handle on, in the sense that his films are as wild as cinema can be. You may have seen House or Hausu, his horror film. Criterion put it out. That is just bananas. It was like one of the earliest, have you seen this movie clip? With the girl playing the piano and all the wild stuff happening around her. And the more films that I saw of the director, the more kind of, understanding I got of where he was coming from. I still feel that a lot of his motion pictures have a lot of stylistic wildness to them and not that much control. It's sometimes difficult for me to get a handle on them because they're all over the place and the pace could be, ups and downs, and because he's throwing so many effects at the audience. But there are some good ones, there are some not so good ones, but I've learned to really appreciate what he does. And I was surprised to learn that he made a film just a couple of years ago in his 80s called Labyrinth of Cinema. He just passed away a few years ago, and this film is kind of his final statement on the idea of what movies were for him. And I say that, and it sounds very grandiose, and oh boy is the movie grandiose as well. This is a 179-minute motion picture that is just bananas for its first 90 minutes, to the point that if you had a hat on your head, it would just fly right off. Most audiences will find it very aggressive and disconnecting, but I just had a smile on my face the entire time as he takes a number of teenagers who are watching a movie in a movie theater on the last day of the movie theater being open. They get sucked into it, and you get a history lesson as well as a character journey that ends up being all about war and the effects of World War II that had on Japan and the world, and how the director just wants peace, all with wild green screen effects as far as the eye can see, complete discretions as if you were reading footnotes on a book. If you look away from this movie for 20 seconds, you'll come back and go, wait, how did I get there? But the fact that it works as well as it does is just amazing to me. The director has so much control over this in a way that when you watch his movies, I always wonder, was this something that he did in post? Did he just kind of make it up on the spot, which, according to some special features, he does do. But you also see him shooting in these special features, and he has a really good idea of what he wants to bring to the screen and how he's going to do it. Now, this is an overwhelming film, but if I had seen it the year it came out, it would definitely be on my top 10 list. It's one that I've thought about since I saw it, and I will definitely be going back to because I feel like I've just skimmed the surface of it. And most of the references probably flew right above my head, even though it doesn't matter because it's so engaging in the way that it's presented that you can go from dead seriousness to wackiness within the same few seconds, but they're working in concert with each other in a way that is just magical the entire way through. And for all of the super speed that you get for the first 90 minutes, eventually it kind of slows down and you really get the emotional core, and it hits home with a wham. And yeah, this is an amazing movie, and I'm really glad it's come out to Blu-ray. The thing with Obayashi is that not that many of his films have gotten North American releases. I mean, House, it was such a big deal when it came out to Criterion. Everybody was talking about it. It's kind of baffling that there hasn't been more companies that have jumped on the bandwagon and put out more films by this director. So it's left to Crescendo House, a new company that is releasing international cinema. I don't know if they're a subsidiary of someone else or if they're just their own company, but they've put it out on a steelbook that looks amazing and is in a nice little plastic case. Now, I don't like steelbooks, but this one, it looks okay. I mean, I just don't like steelbooks. But this is currently the only way you can pick it up. First disc, just the movie. Second disc, there is an hour-long fly-on-the-wall documentary about the making of the film. Delightful. I had many questions about how it came about, how the actors reacted, what it was like on set. They're answered in this documentary. Obayashi is on the ball, even though he's clearly sick, but he is completely active in what he's doing, and you can feel that he's in control of the film that he's putting it on screen. It's not one of those films that a lot of the time you get late period filmmakers and you get the sense that somebody else is kind of holding their hand through it. That is not the case with this because Obayashi is on it. There is also a essay booklet that comes inside of it, really good, with some translated poems that inspired the motion picture as well. And you get a very moving interview with Obayashi's widow, who talks about the fact that he had passed away a year before, and she just kind of goes back and discusses what he was feeling while he was making this last movie. And she was by his side the entire time as she sits clearly in their living room because they keep cutting to photos of them together throughout the years. And Yeah, I mean, she gets choked up in it. You'll probably get choked up in it. I got choked up while watching it because it's a really moving interview from someone that clearly loved the filmmaker and was essential in his process of being creative. So yeah, this movie's great. Check it out on Blu-ray. I don't know if there's going to be a different edition other than the Steelbook. Probably. This is a little pricey. You can buy it if you live in Toronto at Bay Street Video, or you can order it directly from the Crescendo House website. And I'm excited because even on the website, they already have 2 more films that are coming out. And, you know, if they're diving into this stuff, which on the surface could appear pretty challenging, but I mean, these are the kind of movies that I want. The ones that no one else is touching because, I don't know, you know, maybe it's a little bit too much. Crescendo House, you did it. Congratulations. If you enjoyed this video review, check out the Bay Street Video podcast. Me and Mark Hansen talk about the top Blu-rays and DVDs that come out every week, recorded live from a brick and mortar video store. The link is below, and thanks for watching.